Here's the thing about fantasy football. It's a game of outliers, and that's exactly what this column is all about. You're probably not familiar with me, and I'm not exactly a household name in the fantasy world. But let's cut through the noise. This week's Flex Picks are all about finding those hidden gems that could turn your lineup around. Whether you agree or disagree, let's dive in and see who might just surprise you this week. The rules of engagement. Before we get into the meat of it, a few ground rules. I'm skipping the quarterback chatter for now. Figure that one out yourself. I'm also keeping costs tight. No running backs over $5,000, wideouts over $4,500, or tight ends over $4,000 on DraftKings. Think of this as the flex budget cutoff. And here's the kicker. If a player gets 50+ yards or scores a touchdown, mission accomplished. We're not chasing perfection here, just consistency in chaos. Running backs, the underdog playbook. Let's start with Jacory Croskey-Merritt of the Washington Commanders at $5,000. Who exactly should a Croskey-Merritt owner be worried about? Chris Rodriguez is on the sidelines. Austin Eckler's injury status is murky. And Jeremy McNichols is a backup through and through. With Deebo Samuel's presence and Jaden Daniels' read option schemes, this backfield just got a lot more unpredictable. Even if Daniels' back isn't 100%, the Commanders aren't likely to let him take 40 snaps against Micah Parsons. Bill? He might just surprise everyone. Trey Benson of the Cardinals, $4,600, is another intriguing name. James Conner's injury history and the Panthers' historically porous run defense make this a high upside spot. Last week's game felt like a potential blowout, and if Conner sits out, Benson's explosive potential could shine. But here's where it gets controversial. Is Benson a one-week wonder, or is this the start of a breakout season? The jury's out. Kareem Hunt, $4,500, isn't flashy, but let's not sleep on his role in the Chiefs' offense. Week 1 showed he's not being phased out just yet, especially on third downs. The Eagles' run defense looked shaky without Jalen Carter, and Hunt's goal line prowess could pay dividends. But is this a long-term play or just a stopgap until Isaiah Pacheco takes over? You decide. Then there's the Jacksonville Jaguars backfield duo of Bashal Tutin, $4,200, and LaQuint Allen, $4,000. Travis Etienne isn't the full-time back he once was, and with free agency looming, the Jaguars drafted 2 RBs for a reason. Tutin could step into Tank Bigsby's shoes, while Allen's third down role is already established. Facing the Bengals in a high-scoring game? This feels like a recipe for success. Wide receivers, the snaps that matter. Kayshon Boutte, $4,500. Of the Patriots caught 6 passes for 103 yards in week 1, and it's not just luck. With the Dolphins secondary missing Storm Duck, yes, that's his name, and Daniel Jones torching them last week, Boutte's ceiling is sky high. But here's the rub. Will the Patriots' run game or Tre'Veyon Henderson's emergence limit his upside? For now, the train's still on the tracks. Wan'Dale Robinson, $4,400, is a classic PPR play. The Cowboys secondary let Jalen Hurts complete 19 of 23 passes last week, and with Malik Neighbors likely to draw extra attention. Robinson could feast on soft coverage, but let's be real, this isn't a long-term fantasy stud. It's more about exploiting matchups. Diami Brown, $4,200 of the Jaguars, is another name to watch. Trevor Lawrence struggled in week 1, but the Bengals' defense isn't exactly a fortress. With Travis Hunter taking on more defensive snaps, Brown's 71% snap share in a run-heavy game last week hints at his potential. If the Jaguars go aerial, he could be in for a big day. Jalen Naylor, $3,700 of the Vikings, is a sleeper. The Falcons' rookie-heavy secondary is a liability. And while J.J. McCarthy's debut was shaky, Naylor led the team in slop snaps. If he stays inside, the ceiling is there. But will he outperform expectations? That's the million-dollar question. Isaac Taylor, $3,300, is the rookie to monitor. Dan Campbell wants him more involved. and his blocking in the preseason was praised. Facing a banged-up Bears secondary, a breakout game isn't out of the question. But is this a flash in the pan or the start of something bigger? Only time will tell. Tight ends, the overlooked gems. Jonnu Smith, $3,900 of the Steelers is a wild card. The Steelers-Seahawks matchup is defensively heavy, with the over-under at 40 points. Smith's screen game could be key, and his history with Arthur Smith, no relation, suggests creative plays. But is this a match made in fantasy heaven, or just a gamble with a 40-point total? You'll have to see. Harold Fannin Jr., $3,100 is a waiver wire darling. The Ravens didn't stop Josh Allen last week, and the Browns have no reason to limit Fannin and David Njoku. But here's the debate. Is Fannin a one-week wonder or the next great tight end sleeper? The price is right, but the long-term upside is murky. What's your take? Drop a comment and let's discuss.